I'm paranoid now, Left. Right?
Paranoid, yeah.
I was looking at my phone and I looked up like with 6 seconds left to countdown, like, oh snap, did I go live yet? So
Sheesh.
that would never happen again. Lucky Lefty podcast. It's a Tuesday, and we are brought to you by Onora Whiskey. The Onora boys are back. OnoraWhiskey.com is that OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you drink.
Responsibly.
You definitely have to drink responsibly. We're going to talk about the OC candidates, a few of them, and how the Notre Dame offense is going to look if they indeed got the position or were hired by Notre Dame. We'll also talk about the buzz nationally about Notre Dame and the OC position and possibly what could be happening with other coaches that NFL teams might be coming after post Super Bowl. Everybody's out there where you are, Left. Agents, it's a lot of money being thrown around, a lot of deals being made, a lot of buzz. And from I get a couple of sources I've spoken to, the Notre Dame buzz is real about coaches on the staff and about the position that's currently open as far as the offensive coordinator. So that's good to hear. It's always good to hear that Notre Dame is floating around amongst the elite of business, college football, and the NFL.
Absolutely. I mean, the business is at a right time right now, and with transitioning, and it's good to see sort of how NBA free agency operates. It's cool to see NFL and college operate on an administration level because coaching switches matter, and it's good to see it be hot. It be hot right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we move from that to talk about whether or not I think we've identified the Notre Dame position as a
Premium.
yeah, yeah, you and I we can go back and forth, right? From a brand standpoint, I think any position at Notre Dame, like if you're a winning quarterback at Notre Dame, it's prestigious, right?
Yes.
Probably beneficial for future quarterbacks from an NIL landscape or standpoint. Coach, same way, right? If you have any charisma, being a coach at Notre Dame, pretty profitable.
Pretty
Being a
profitable.
being a coordinator at Notre Dame in the past might not have been seen. It might not have been of equal value amongst coaches and agents as people view it from a brand standpoint.
Mm.
I think that's what I'm really trying to point out, right? Because for a while there, Notre Dame did not equal up to or did not live up to the wage and compensation that top coordinators deserved on the market or were getting on the market. And that sometimes stopped Notre Dame from being able to go after big dogs or go after the best of the best. And it stopped the best of the best from looking at Notre Dame as a serious competitor for their services. From a brand standpoint, anything you do at Notre Dame, bro, you're going to be, heck, Drew Pine was on Sports Center when he transferred, bro. Like,
Yeah, I think just Notre Dame as a brand itself is such a platform as a standalone. If you're a part of that in any significant way,
mm-hmm,
that value is going to be seen on a national level, whether you're a fan of Notre Dame or not. You're going to see Notre Dame across your TV because it's an attention grabber. And what comes from Notre Dame seems to gain a lot of attention, even if when it leaves Notre Dame, it may not be the same. We talked about Notre Dame being a great stepping stone to launch a lot of great careers. Matt LaFleur was our offensive coordinator, launched him into being the head coach of the Packers. And he's still the head coach of the Packers, doing a lot of great things. Mike Sanford, offensive coordinator, went to uh, end up going, basically became a head coach at Western Kentucky, was an intern head coach at Colorado. And that was my offensive coordinator, Chuck Martin, my very first offensive coordinator, my recruiter at Notre Dame, head coach at Miami. So it's a pattern, and it's something you really just got to take advantage of, and that's why these seasons each year become more and more important
Mm.
because of what can transpire in the off season because of the success. Even if it's not at its peak, you're going to have success enough to garner the attention of your services getting paid for at other places. So maybe Notre Dame doesn't see the value of paying you the top dollar because we give you the value of the top dollar to go somewhere else and make your money. So, I mean, we made Brian Kelly $100 million man at another place. I'm sure we made Tommy Reese a high earner at Alabama, coming from Notre Dame. So, you're gonna get your money right coming through our program.
Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation, in conjunction with Irish Breakdown, all of our great content. Go over there with shows like State of Recruiting and us as well. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know we spin it different. It's interesting you say that, Left, because most of the time, a lot of people like to spin narratives, negative narratives, shall I say. And one of those negative narratives is they don't like to pay their coordinators. And, it's all about Notre Dame, which has kind of hindered the NIL collective in a way. And this is what recruits are being told. This is how you negative recruit Notre Dame. Not only when it comes to young athletes, but when it comes to the best of the best in the coaching arena. And hopefully Notre Dame is taking this opportunity, the way they responded to Tommy publicly, and the way that they choose to move and the guys that they go after. Maybe they turn over a new leaf and build a new narrative moving forward. Because don't look, we know Al Golden is pursuing. I won't say pursuing. Al Golden would love to be a defensive coordinator in the NFL. Right?
Yes. Yes.
NFL teams, they see Dylan McCullough. He's already been on a world championship staff with the Kansas City Chiefs as a running back coach. Well, guess what? If he gets an opportunity to go to the right situation as an OC or a running back coach, yeah, teams are going to come after him.
That's right.
So the new narrative needs to be set. There needs to be a foundation for that new narrative, especially with coaches, because you want to begin to attract the best of the best. And this is the beautiful thing from the people I talk to that are out there in the desert with you, Left. People are calling and asking about the job.
Right.
It's not just Notre Dame pursuing people. People are calling and inquiring about the job. And when I say that, I'm not talking about, we'll get to the report surrounding Byron Leftwich in a second. But there are actual coaches and agents calling Notre Dame, inquiring about the job and whether or not, their guys can get in and get a Zoom call or
But
things
do
of that nature.
but do you see how it's so interesting? It's like Kenny Pickett called to go up to Notre Dame, seeing the issues. It seems like when Notre Dame is on your TV screen, the beacon of light is shining shining the bat signal to the country that, hey, spots are clearly looking available. Now, we're not going to chase you necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Indirectly, we're chasing you because you see what we need, because you see what we have built, and you can see the structure can fit with the right one piece left. So our value is there because you know what Notre Dame is as a standalone, as a brand. So
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, you know what we need. It's like we just taking offers at this point. That's just a unique position Notre Dame's put themselves in as a school that takes offers as opposed to necessarily going out and chasing the best of the best. Because it seems like with the success record that Notre Dame is putting out just on we from our actions and not our words.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the honeypot, which makes it so crazy to see a guy make a lateral move when, I mean, we seem to have more success with our coaches uh, failing upwards or being able to take a bigger step than what they were asked to do at Notre Dame. I mean, even Lance Taylor got a head coaching job. Audrey Denson got a head coaching
That's
job.
a fact.
Elko got a head coaching job.
Yeah.
You know,
Successful. Yes. There's success. There's a history of success with Notre Dame coordinators, getting jobs,
so
specifically in the college ranks.
so when
But
it comes to some money, I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure Notre Dame is like, man, look at what we're doing. It's like the same as how Brian Kelly's the winningest coach of Notre Dame history. That's a great value piece to go get you $100 million somewhere. You're the winningest coach at Notre Dame history. You can go get some money about anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. So maybe Notre Dame is a little light in the pockets.
hmm
Because they're saying our value, our 4 for 40, even is past the students. We give you a 4 for 40 as a coaching staff, a better career, a launching point, a great resume builder. So I would love to see. Now, if we were taking the approach of an Alabama, we would be unfair, in my opinion. Because now you're getting the benefits and you're getting the money. I know it'd always be too crazy. It almost be a pipe dream. But
right.
I do think that Notre Dame has its unique way of doing business, and that's why we seem to stand out when business happens or laws and regulations take change in college football. We seem to always make the right move, but it's an interesting place. I think Marcus Freeman is going to come down to the end of the road at some point, especially if he wins the championship and say, "Hey, I'm gonna need a couple more dollars in my pocket." He got 6 kids. You know what I mean? It don't mean 6 million needs to be on the contract. It might need to be 60. Who knows? He might win a couple championships, add a couple more kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be interesting to see. Um, Notre Dame business moves have always been consistent. Brian Kelly's always wanted some more money. That's been something that's happened in the tenure. He's always asked for a little bit more. Now he's been consistent and got a little bit more, but he ain't got what he probably really wanted and that he found at LSU.
Yeah. And it's something that stood out yesterday. One of our comments after the show was, like I said, we always respond and tap into the comments after the show. One of the interesting comments, you know, made reference to some comments we made about Tommy as far as the decision making with Marcus Freeman being a little bit off topic. And I kind of laughed because I feel like in this process we've been bad. Look, there's some stuff we could have said a long time ago if we really just didn't give a darn.
That's right.
I think we have been totally fair when it comes to, and pretty much have kept it strictly football and recruiting when it comes to Tommy Reese. So,
Yeah, Notre
you
Dame.
gave your opinion. You gave your opinion on why he left. And, I've given my opinion on, look, no one is sitting here saying that Marcus Freeman would not have retained Tommy Reese. The optics are bad when the offensive coordinator is announced before the head coach. It's just bad optics.
This is
And
bad.
as a university, you leave yourself open to questions and narratives. Period. Just bad optics. You got people who are respected covering Notre Dame, pretty much putting stories out that Tommy has full autonomy. These are the things
Before
that are
the
being
head
put out.
coach was announced.
Absolutely.
That's key. You
Absolutely.
got full autonomy before the head coach was announced. What
And
is
so,
that?
and this is why what Notre Dame is choosing to do now from PR standpoint is very important. Because, like I said, a year ago, everything surrounding what was going on was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And when we look at it now, you have to feel like moving forward that they continue this trend, that the best of the best will be compensated at Notre Dame when it
Yeah,
comes to
it's
the
just
coaches
I just think
and the.
Notre Dame is a principled value type of institution, and it's like they're like the apple tree. They can give you some apples,
Mhm.
but they really gonna give you the seeds that you can grow your own tree somewhere else.
Yeah,
A lot of places gonna give you a lot of apples. You gonna be full of apples. Or they ain't gonna give you a couple of apples, but they're gonna give you some seeds. You go do your own thing and build a bigger apple tree. So um, it's a different type of value. I think it's the same as for a guy committing as a student athlete, looking at it as I may not get the NIL, but I know the value of a 4 for 40 is can carry me longer than me getting a 4 for 4 at Wendy's because that's where you'll probably work if you go to Ohio State and don't make it. So now you get to Notre Dame and you get a 4 for 40, you're failing up. Even if you don't go to the league. Look at Braden Lindsay, a great success story, a
hmm
guy that chose to not play football. How many college athletes can choose not to play if they don't want to go take a nice solid 4 for 40 job? Not that the job is not great, because it is great for him to be able to have a decision and options. And I think that's a very mature decision to make, but it's a decision that you understand and develop when you go to a place like Notre Dame. So I think getting the value of seeing the picture bigger than money as a student athlete is important. But as a coach, you want your money too now.
And see, the other narrative that needs to change, right? And this is a good comment to kind of launch this off of. RJ G. Irvin, thank you for tapping in. Bad look for a new young coach. His coach is picking up and leaving. Yeah, if he was the head coach of Utah.
If he was a
Look,
head
man,
coach in
this is college
Sinclair Community
football. When you're
College.
elite programs, coaches leave all the time.
I mean, we got to go through the track record one more time. Elko,
Coaches,
head coaching job, right? He stayed NFL job, came back. Audrey Denson, head coaching job. Chuck Martin, head coaching job. Mike Sanford, head coaching job. LaFleur, NFL Packers, head coaching job.
right? This ain't just Mark. This is not just Marcus Freeman. Brian Kelly lost a lot of coaches when he was at Notre Dame.
Brian Kelly fired his whole staff 2015
Had
and the
to.
strength coach. And the strength coach of 2016 and the strength coach. Got a whole new, had a whole, how many universities allow you 5 years in, don't get a championship, get worse each year,
hmm
and give you the chance to redo it all by firing your whole staff and allowing you to get a whole new staff? How many, and then having some success and then letting you walk? If that's not the greatest relationship between a university and a head coach, I don't know what is.
hmm
They bring you in, you got tons of issues, you winning, but it's a lot going on. A guy dies, you still there. You get to a championship after so many chances,
Right.
get embarrassed, staying pretty much the same. Then you start getting worse after the potential which you had, and they give you the chance to restart. They said, look, and wait, before they give you the chance to restart, they let you bring all of your friends. They say, you know what? You've been doing such a mediocre, decently good job. We're going to let you bring everybody you grew up with. What if Marcus Freeman brought everybody he grew up with as a coach? And then it don't go right. And then you get a chance to fire everybody that you brought to restart. Don't win a championship still as you're searching for NFL jobs every year.
Right.
And they say, you know what? We'll let you walk. Not fire you. Let you walk away with the winningest head coach of all time with no championships, no first round QBs. And you walk to $100 million in a restart in a better conference program. Why is it so many win-wins? It's so many win-wins. So Marcus Freeman got to get something. He started with a guy hired before him, and he's the head coach. I don't even know how you go through all of that through them 10 years. You let a guy walk to get more money somewhere else without giving you a championship and all them excuses and reasons and stuff that you had to go through to protect that brand. But a guy that was trying to leave halfway the whole time, stopped recruiting halfway the whole time. And then you get a whole fresh guy in-house, young, right for the team wants him, and you hire a guy before the guy. What?
Hey, bro. All I'm saying is the whole narrative surrounding how everything happened a year ago was about as mysterious as you being a Jaguars fan. You know, Left has gone to the NFL experience. He went to the NFL experience yesterday and bought him a T-shirt to prove his point.
Went to the NFL experience.
To prove that he's a Jaguars fan to LL Nation today.
Oh, man.
Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify.
This
YouTube.
Is team issue gear. This is from the team. You got to be at the facility to get a shirt like this.
Dude, you were probably standing outside an event and they were throwing T-shirts with the little gun machine like they do at baseball and basketball games.
See, it's the material. It's the material that can tell you the difference. You know, I damn near got the same shirt where Trevor Lawrence got his shirt from.
Oh, man. Follow us on YouTube, Lucky Lefty Podcast, man. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time we go live or post something, you'll have it. Man, we're brought by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey.
See, I'm ahead of the curve, just like I'm ahead of the curve back
Lucky
when Byron
Lefty
Leftwich was a
Podcast.
quarterback.
We spin it different. Yo, speaking of Byron Leftwich, man.
They used to call me Byron Leftwich at school.
Really?
Yeah, like my friends on the team. They said I played like Brian.
By the time you were in high school, Byron was what, getting ready to leave Marshall?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like when he was at the Jags, because I was a Jags fan in college.
Here we go. Like, yeah. Here we go.
It was like, yeah, you do remind me of a David Garrard, Byron Leftwich, because I was a huge Jags fan in college and stuff. So
yeah,
just letting you know, I'm a real fan.
Yeah, it's funny. Bob O'Day taps in. Why are we saying Tommy Rees was forced upon him? Because the decision was made before he was named head coach. What have you ever been in a job
where they hire a guy before they hired you in the same stuff? They're like, yeah, we're gonna.
Okay, wait, because we can keep it. We can keep it a buck. Most of these candidates are being told that Notre Dame would like to have continuity. and would like to keep their offensive staff. They're being told that up front. So candidates that might like to bring one or two guys with them, they might not like that. But they're being told up front, hey, we like Jared Parker, we like Chancey Stuckey, we like Dylan McCullough, we like Harry Heastand, we're good. We're good.
We are though. Like
So if you want to be OC, hey, we already have our staff.
And the staff is good. You got a good staff. You don't got no BS staff. You got a staff that
now
produce.
They have the option to choose whether or not they still want to take the job under those conditions, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Marcus Freeman was pretty much told, yo, this is how we see things. We want to keep continuity. We would like for this person to stay on. And Marcus Freeman had a choice of whether or not he wanted to accept those conditions. So if you want to say him accepting those conditions was him, whatever. All we're saying is he did not have a choice that most first-time head coaches get to choose their full staff. He didn't.
It wasn't like the last one.
Absolutely.
Like
so it's tomato.
That right there shows it wasn't continuity because it wasn't like the last start. The last start, dude flew in on the plane mid-season.
It's tomato.
Yeah.
And the man gets the job, and literally 2 months later, this dude is courting other schools. After making a speech and after being actually basically just presented to the head coach, he's off courting other positions. This is why you give head coaches the opportunity to bring their own guys in.
Because you got to put Marcus Freeman in a position where he got to go up in the media and be like, if you want to be here, then I gotta ask you to be here. Like
fresh in the door. This is what he's dealing with. With the dude that was presented to him, like, man, we would like to keep continuity. Okay, I can rock with that. And now I have to deal with this. Come on, man.
And now I gotta speak on it. Now I gotta be like, look, I want guys that want to be here, even though I didn't ask them to be here.
They were not agreed upon. They were not. It was presented to Marcus Freeman as if this is what we would like.
And now you remember too.
Either you can rock with it or you can't. It's the same thing Marcus Freeman is doing to the OC candidates. We want our guys to stay. Either you can rock with it or you can't. Period. These OC candidates are not receiving the opportunity to come in and say, I want to bring in a new running backs coach. I want to bring in a new offensive line coach. That's not the way it's happening. It's not. And people want to defend, dude. Tommy Rees is a big dude. This is college football. This is business. It's okay that Notre Dame, in a situation where they were looking really bad, chose to save face by keeping somebody like Tommy around for continuity. Because keeping him around made it a lot easier to hire a first-time head coach at a big school like this. Let's not act strange when it comes to optics in business.
Yeah,
we understand why things happen.
Or
I see people in the chat talking about, well, they coach together. What does that mean?
Because
just because they coach together, they cool?
Because if you look at it through a vacuum, you could look at it as, okay, we're doing this as an insurance plan.
Far as what?
As first-year head coach doesn't really go right, the hype ends and we're not good, then we could just slide Tommy in as the insert as the intern head coach that could have, should have been. He could have been like that too.
Man, look, let's stop. We got to stop this, man. There's a bunch of people on coaching staffs that don't talk to each other. I'm not about to get deep into this. And we're not about to try to make this seem like, dude.
We knew it was going to go bad when Tommy was upset.
And Tommy Rees were cool. That's the extent of it.
But we knew it was something when Tommy was denied his tight ends coach.
Now, see, that's why I said I don't want to
See. But then we wrong if we say something. But
Dude,
we just speaking on what this timeline looks like.
there was plenty
Why
of
you
tension. There was plenty of tension right out the gate. This man just got the job, and there's already plenty of tension. Guess why? That's not his guy.
That's not his guy. It's
Not
not his
his
guy. What do
dude.
you mean?
It's not. Did he agree to it? Yes. Would I have agreed to it? Heck yeah.
Heck
To
yeah.
get that job. Heck yeah. I don't blame Marcus Freeman for agreeing with it. Heck yeah.
I'd have been
I
like,
would have done the same
all right,
thing.
yeah, shoot, whatever. Like, let's do it. That's fine. We're gonna sign.
But in agreeing with it, I'm not expecting this dude to go quarter school a month later and then to try to block a decision that I want when it comes to a hire.
Tell a dude, yeah, or tell a dude, I'm not recruiting you no more. Recruit a dude in the year after, and you don't even know.
That's on the same 7-on-7 team.
That's what I'm saying.
You think that kid is not going to find out. And you think he's not going to find out what you're doing.
And now he calling you like, am I still good? You like, wait a minute, when wasn't you good? I thought you was coming.
It's crazy, man. And if people don't realize, look, we don't even have to tell you. Just go back and look at how things started to go and what Marcus Freeman and how he responded to it. You had somebody that was presented to the man within the deal. And after being presented, he's like, okay, we're cool. And a month later, the dude is trying to get another gig.
And it's public.
And the man comes out in front of the media and said, yes, I had to go ask the dude, do you want to be here? Wait a minute. He just gave a whole speech and was just presented to you.
Talking about he's hard as here.
So do you think, wait a minute, do you think if Marcus Freeman had interviewed someone, vetted someone, do you think, like the OC now, whomever he hires in the coming weeks, do you think a month from now, they're going to be looking for another job? Do you think that's going to happen?
He would never have to say, oh, I have to ask the guy I just hired and vetted and ask if he really wanted to be here. If he really wants to be here.
Exactly. Dude, I applaud Jack Swarbrick. He did what was necessary. In the face of the foolishness of Brian Kelly and the way he did things, he allowed Notre Dame to regain something, regain continuity, keep the recruiting class intact, and give him a foundation to make a bold move. Jack Swarbrick did everything he needed to do to get to the destination he wanted to get to. That's not the issue. In doing so, you open yourself up optically to the stories and narratives that came out. When the Athletic reported that Tommy had full autonomy, how do you think that made the new head coach feel? And we're not going to play games. We're not about to play games, man. We're not doing this.
Full autonomy, and he's looking for jobs. And he's telling you who he recruiting. And he getting mad that he can't bring his guys in. What
like they literally broke the story about autonomy, and literally right on top of that, this dude goes looking for another gig. Mess. Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Left froze. I don't know what happened to him.
No, I'm saying I'm right here.
Hopefully he can come back.
Was it me? I thought I was good. Oh, Yeah, man. The Lucky Lefty podcast. Once again, we just hashing through the details and combing through uh, of what the optics look like of how this new start. Now that the house is clear, where Marcus Freeman is headed, and it's a great opportunity to almost restart your first year, right? Restart your first year having a new splash hire as an OC, and that's going to be huge for the rejuvenation of what a team needs offensively. You got a new quarterback in there, you got a new OC. The team is looking to bounce back from cleaning all the mess that was made in just 1 year. No more distractions offensively. You can even hire another a quarterback coach. Get two guys in there if you want to.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, you can finesse that from the number standpoint of the number of coaches you can are allowed to have. You can have a GA come in and teach quarterbacks. You dealt with GAs when you were there as a quarterback left, so
Absolutely. Notre Dame's, and then you add on the fact that Notre Dame's a hotbed for coaches to launch their careers even to a bigger platform. So, I think if anything, we learned one thing, that the way Notre Dame finds a way to handle all that and still produce quality seasons is something that is going to be hard to just change overnight. But Marcus Freeman hopefully being a consistent foundation piece within that, I think
mhm.
we're going to be fine, because he's going to make the right hires provided they allow him to. And I think the coaches that he does hire are committed to, what the vision and the process is to help this team win a championship. And I think in the grand scheme of things, that's what they wanted when they hired Marcus Freeman. And the things that are happening on to get into that, it's happening natural, because you don't want to be stuck with a guy who doesn't want to be there, right? So
No.
um, I think it's good that Marcus Freeman doesn't have to make any rash moves and to make it optically look bad on him as if he doesn't trust his own staff.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, if you want to go ahead with your bad self.
So it's very interesting. Well, what we're pointing out is that the buzz around Notre Dame and this program has taken a total 180. Total 180 since this time. There were some embarrassing things nationally that this program had to deal with this time last year. As Marcus Freeman was still interviewing guys to fill out his staff. And now it's a total 180. Where they view this job, this offensive coordinator job, as a plum job, and you have people calling to say, "Man, I'm just checking in to see, what's up with the gig." And that's a perfect way for us to segue into the report that came out yesterday for Byron Leftwich. Um, when the report came out, I called my people and had them do some digging. And I text you left and was like, "Nah, this ain't. This report is bogus." And then I actually ended up talking to Brian Driscoll a little bit later. He confirmed some things that he had heard, and it was just like, okay. And it's not so much. I won't sit here and say that Byron Leftwich is not a candidate or that he's not interested in the job. But the way it was reported, as far as him reaching out and all of that, no, no. So it's interesting though.
Definitely interesting. I think just it makes sense as a splash hire. He's a great offensive coordinator for what he does on the resume side of things. The NFL experience can add a lot of benefit to an offense that has a lot of talent, and a guy that will know how to use that talent, considering, he spent the last 3 years doing it probably more than a college football coach would in terms of knowing how to use talent to the best of his ability. And he worked with Tom Brady. So all those things have to shake out to something good for a Notre Dame program that needs maybe somewhat of a experienced play caller and in a position that um, understands the benefit of having a staff that can support him. You know, I think Brian Leftwich in his own right was going through some things where he was trying to figure out uh, how to get some of the autonomy that we gave Tommy.
Mhm.
So I think it could be a nice match made um, from what Brian Leftwich can almost restart. You know, after getting fired as an NFL guy, it's probably a little harder to get back in the NFL right away, knowing circumstances. However, if he comes to back to college and wins a championship or, does something like how Todd Monken has been able to show, I'm sure NFL teams would be calling just as just as good as it was before. So um, maybe Marcus Freeman has connections like that, and it would be good to see him really expand on that. I think it's a open field, like you said. You got guys taking calls to Notre Dame.
Mhm.
How many places do that? So
Mhm.
Marcus Freeman definitely probably has a lot of options in front of him. He's not bare at any standpoint.
Yeah, and as far as I spoke on it not only on our podcast but on Irish Breakdown yesterday on a recruiting show, and Byron Leftwich is an A1 person and man.
He got a
You be
Super Bowl.
you be hard pressed. You be hard pressed to find someone amongst the candidates that's better prepared to teach the quarterback position. I won't debate like play calling and all of that, but teaching the quarterback position, I would take him at the top with anybody else
Not only
that's
did
on the
he
list
play, he coached Tom Brady. How many jobs is Bill O'Brien still getting?
for
Because he
coaching
coached
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. He's still getting jobs, failing up. And we talking about not a strong enough resume. He won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know how
Yeah,
sorry Tampa Bay has been?
yeah,
The losingest sports franchise. And they won a Super Bowl with Byron Leftwich calling plays for the greatest quarterback.
yeah.
And you're
I,
talking about we passed. Come on, man. What are we talking about? But you all wanted Tommy to stay? Y'all wanted Tommy to stay?
it's really one of those things where you know I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet that at some time this week Byron Leftwich will be in Arizona.
Yeah, he gonna be out.
That's people that want
He gonna be out
jobs.
here.
They go to where the jobs are. So I'm pretty sure at some point he and his representation will be in Arizona, rubbing shoulders and seeing what's next. So that was the first thing that jumped out to me about that story.
Yeah,
Like
it
he
was a
hasn't
little
really
shocking to him reaching out.
he
That was the
really hasn't
part.
found out where he sits on in the NFL landscape because he's
Like,
respected. Even if he
he
takes a
just
step back to be a quarterback coach somewhere to get another opportunity to be an OC,
because he literally just denied the head coaching job for Jacksonville the year before.
but he just got through interviewing for multiple head coaching jobs.
So I doubt he just reached out to Notre Dame. Like, I mean, yeah, I think we were great, but he ain't that fast. He ain't even get the yes or no yet.
Yeah, and I don't know. I hope someone isn't questioning the intelligence of Byron Leftwich in the chat. Maybe because come on, man.
Just move on.
I mean, yeah, we want a smart. I mean, we just got done with a smart OC, right? The
The
OC,
smartest, the
the
smartest,
OC we just lost is supposed to be super smart.
the next Sean McVay,
So
like by Dan Orlovsky, he's supposed to be the
yeah, I
one.
would look if they told me, and I actually said Brian Driscoll and I had this conversation. if you wanted to elevate from within and bring Byron in to teach quarterbacks, I I would like once again, you'll be hard pressed to find a better individual to teach quarterback play amongst the candidates. Like he has just as much experience as Joe Moorhead and anybody else when it comes to dealing with quarterbacks. So look, he wouldn't be my first choice. I'll keep it a buck left. But I would have a conversation with him. I would have a conversation. I would bring him to campus. I would build a relationship with him and bring him to campus. And I'm not even talking about the job. I'm just talking about that's someone to have around. Heck, if you bring Ed Orgeron, or if Ed Orgeron can come around, man, bring some guys in that you can tap into their knowledge, talk to them, have them watch a practice, share information, and get better. Not just him, other impressive minds. By all
Yeah,
means.
and that's what's so interesting about building out your staff and having right people around the program is because it you can take a little bit from everybody. You don't necessarily have to hire everybody, but it can be conversations had because you're in that position where you get a call from Notre Dame, you're gonna take a visit or at least pick up the phone. So Marcus Freeman's football Rolodex,
Right.
being a Notre Dame head football coach, he can call upon a lot of people to come by
Yeah.
and be interested in what they got going on or at least trying to help. So I just hope, in the position he's in, with everything being available as a resource almost, putting the team together from that is a challenge in of itself. But doing that with also recruiting, I mean, it's a balancing act he's showing that he's capable of. And now we just got to put it on the field as a product.
Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. All of our great content, leave 5 stars. Leave your comments. We appreciate each and every one of them. We love you guys in the chat each and every day. You keep it on fire consistently for us. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know. We spin it different. Next left, let's talk about these candidates and what the Notre Dame offense will look like. Right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast. Left, we talked about a few of the candidates yesterday. You gave your top 3. Today, we want to try and imagine what the Notre Dame offense might look like if one of these guys actually got the job. So we'll start with the guy that impresses you or impresses you the most. I don't want to, one of the guys that gives you a great impression, one of the greatest impressions from what you've watched on film and just watching his teams and his offenses. And that's Andy Ludwig from Utah. I think he's 56. We talked about one of the things that might keep him from taking the job is relocation and his comfort level there at Utah and in that position. What his goals are from a career standpoint, what he wants to do next. How would the Notre Dame offense look with Andy Ludwig as the offensive coordinator?
I think it would give us a clear identity on what Marcus Freeman came in with the idea of as a head coach on being physical. I think every position you would see a physicality to it because that's what the key to their success is. And I think defensively, we want that physicality to show next year, especially from our linebacker position. So for that to carry over to the offense and how we do things with the running backs we have and the run potential and the offensive line and the receivers being as big as they are, we don't have no little receivers. I mean, Jaden Thomas can play tight end. I already thought Caleb Smith was a tight end at first, but I think that that style is what Notre Dame has been accustomed to when we were really, really good.
Hmm.
And I think with a quarterback that is as experienced as Sam Hartman, and with a quarterback that's as dynamic and a runner of a type of athlete Tyler Buckner is, with a pretty solid arm, you're seeing a right fit for what it wouldn't take a lot of transition for going into next year. We were already a running heavy run play action team with heavy tight end presence. But having a guy like this, it would be much more of the same, maybe a little simpler, but a little more clean. And then having the experience of Sam or Tyler being in there, you'll see it come more alive where we have more points. So maybe more basic, but more points. You'll see a more streamlined identity of physicality that we're going to display on every snap, running straight forward. We're not going to do too many cute things. And if it gets cute, it's a play action or something. But I think it would fit to what we've recruited so far. And I think if you go outside of that and you get something more of the passing style, um, it would be interesting to see how they develop that offense in one off season. Is it going to be take some time because we're not used to having a consistent passing game? We have the pieces, we feel like, but
Hmm.
to roll it out as an offense, I think the fans will be more anticipatory of what it would look like because we've never seen something on that level. But bringing a guy like Andy Ludwig in, I think it would keep more towards the style that we're used to, that we've been begging for, and that's been working for us in these last couple of years.
You know what's funny? The Byron Leftwich debate going on in the chat. I love LL Nation. It's spicy today. So, Andy Ludwig, as we said before, look, the situation for me is a clear conversation. And I think that's one of the top questions that's going to be at the forefront of any interviewing process with Marcus Freeman and these candidates. What are your future goals? What do you want to do? Minimum, you would like to have an offensive coordinator come in and stay for 2 to 3 years, especially for the sake of the quarterbacks, besides Sam Hartman, that's in that quarterback room that still need development. You go from Andy Ludwig to someone that has a lot of experience, and that's Joe Moorhead, right? Whether it's Penn State, Mississippi State, currently coaching as a head coach, quarterback coach. He's with Akron now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think when I dug into him, his children are a little bit older. So Akron, South Bend, it's not that big of a move geographically for him. And the experience he has, bro. I was looking at specifically the one thing we can all point to, right, from a successful standpoint, offense, is you look at that Penn State offense with Trace McSorley, Saquon Barkley, uh, Jawan Johnson, and KJ Hamler, and the smaller wide receivers in the slot. They were able to put up points, and he was able to develop Trace McSorley into a pretty good, almost an Ian Book type college career at quarterback, wouldn't you say?
You can say that.
Yeah, kind of similar. How do you think the offense would look with Joe Moorhead as the
I,
offensive coordinator?
it would look more flushed out. I think you would see a more mature style of schemes. It wouldn't be on a traditional basis. It wouldn't be so of the creative sense that you got from this new age kind of offense where you're trying to score a bunch of points and mismatches. I think it'll be something where you see a lot of success with in the college football world, but with a guy like Joe Moorhead, you're going with things that work. So he knows with the experience that he's been a part of what can work, and I think you will see him fitting what the team has because he's been a head coach, so he knows coaching to the strength of what he has on the team, and I think you'll see that meld with him doing what he knows best in terms of putting an offense together that can be consistent, Will we be the highest scoring offense in the country? Probably not. But I think we will be very complimentary of a defensive led football team that we can win games. Not like the maybe the Baltimore Ravens in 2000s, but we're going to hold our end of the bargain on a 50-50 scale when it comes to supporting the defense and winning football games.
Well, you're talking about opening the passing attack up and still having an emphasis on the run. That's Joe Moorhead, right? That's what
Yeah,
he did at Penn State with Saquon Barkley to give him room. He was able to give KJ Hamler, Jahan Dotson space and get them in space to be able to run after the catch. You talk about Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown, when he was at Boston College, was super mid, right? He goes to Oregon for 1 year, works at Joe Moorhead, and all of a sudden he's walking into Ohio Stadium and beating the Buckeyes. So, you know, you have to be impressed with Joe Moorhead. Like I said, moving from Akron, 2-10, right? 2-10 first year. You just get that head coach. You have to think about what his mentality is, right? He just became a
yeah.
head coach. Does he have a mentality of like, I want to build my program? Or does he read the writing on the wall after 1 year and say, you know what? Maybe I can get an even better head coaching position if I can go to Notre Dame and make things much better for that offense.
Well, I know Joe Moorhead, if he's looking at Notre Dame in general, he knows the success of what it can be of him going there for a year or two. It don't even take long for coaches to turn over from assistants and position coaches to head coaches and coordinators. So uh, Joe Moorhead probably knows the value of that.
Hmm.
And it comes down to, is he a guy that's committed from building a program ground up or getting to a program that's halfway up and he can finish the job being a great coach. So Notre Dame's gonna give you the benefit of having that option. It's not like he can go, he's not gonna be a Scott Frost and go to Nebraska and then, not do great there and then have a hard time finding somewhere else.
A lot of people have been mentioning Scott Frost. What's your vibe on Scott Frost? Enough
Yeah.
said. Enough said. Joe Brady, quarterback coach for the Buffalo Bills, which, from a resume standpoint, I really don't know because we know what he did at LSU. He's scapegoated at Carolina. He leaves there. He goes to the Buffalo Bills. Tons of experience. Previous relationship with Marcus Freeman. Brings NFL experience, quarterback development experience that he's gained. Joe Brady sounds really good, but for me, he's the one candidate where I'm like, I don't know, man. Right? And I just wonder if I want somebody coming off of a negative year, right? Because look, I don't know why I'm about to set this right up on a tee for you. I shouldn't even be doing this, LL Nation. But I'm about to put the ball right on the tee for Malik right now, and I already know where this is about to go. But for the sake of talking about Joe Brady as an OC candidate, I think him and Ken Dorsey are coming off of a not so good season with the decline or the alleged decline of their quarterback in his play. And
Well, it was never a
until,
decline. He's the same guy he's been since day one. A guy that's heavy turnover, wants to play hero ball, decision
okay,
making is
Tim Brown.
questionable in the clutch.
Okay, Tim Brown.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tim Brown was on to something there. He spoke something universal. He wasn't just speaking about one guy. And I think it just, when you're doing all that, you get outside of what Joe Burrow doesn't get outside of. He stick to the system, and he gets better, and he wins championships. So Joe Brady is like, man, get me away from this Tasmanian devil out there, just putting his body in harm's way more than Lamar. I don't know why we paid him and they're not paying Lamar. But if we could save Joe Brady, then we could save Joe Brady. But to be honest, I think it would be really good to see um, Joe Brady fit. I think he could fit with a guy like Sam Hartman, maybe not Tyler Buckner as well, only because I think that
But what does the offense look like? Does the offense look like the LSU offense?
with Sam Hartman, maybe. I think with Tyler Buckner, it would look like what you saw with Josh Allen, and it would only take you so far. Because Tyler Buckner is a he
Don't put that Josh Allen vibe on Tyler Buckner in Notre Dame. Don't do that.
Tyler
Don't
Buckner
do that.
plays a little
Don't do
hero
that.
ball. Tyler
Don't do
Buckner
that.
has been positioned to
He
play
does not.
hero ball,
He does not. He is developed beyond that. He does not. He had to play hero ball in California where he was.
and
He's
Tommy made
matured
him play hero ball against
against
everybody
Ohio
else.
State and Marshall. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I agree with that. Tommy went with that early in the season. But I think we saw a different Tyler Buckner in the Gator Bowl.
He was still, I mean, he had 100 rushing yards. He had about 200 passing yards. He had a rushing touchdown, a couple pass. I mean, he's just the type of player he is. Do I think that's a Joe Brady fit? No, I think Sam Hart would be great with a Joe Brady, and we would look great. We would look really good. I think Caleb Smith will be happy.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have his concepts and routes in there, and Sam Hartman would feel as though like, okay, I'm gonna just watch a bunch of Burrow tape throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Why not?
Yeah,
I think he can fit more of an experience wave of that than trying to start from ground up like a Tyler Buckner trying to learn a whole concept that he's not comfortable with yet. I don't think you throw Tyler Buckner into a whole passing air raid situation after coming off a year where he can't even stay healthy.
Health is the main issue with him, right? We understand.
I think Josh Gaddis will keep Tyler Buckner healthy. Because JJ McCarthy is
that's a super chat that we'll get to a little bit later. Like I said, if you're an offensive coordinator, you're calling about this job.
Yes.
I mean, you're calling about this job. That's what we're trying to say.
The phone ringing.
Like the narrative has been totally flipped when it comes to Notre Dame with this position and how things went down with Tommy Rees, as opposed to how things went down with Brian Kelly in the months after that, and the things that transpired. It just wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. And somehow, some way, Notre Dame, from a PR standpoint, found the opportunity and used the opportunity to make this position look even more scrumptious. Like right now, the Notre Dame OC position looks like commercial food. You know what I mean, Left? Nothing looks better than commercial food. The food they put in the commercials, you're like, man, that looks good. No one is nasty because of the restaurant it's from. No one is nasty.
Okay, what restaurant you think is like that? Because do you think like Red Lobster is nasty for real?
Like the only thing I've really ever eaten, I've never really done seafood at Red Lobster.
What?
No, I haven't.
What you get at Red Lobster?
The biscuits I pop though.
Oh yeah, you get biscuits and leave,
man.
And then don't get the biscuits and the salad. I'll be done. I'll be like, I'm good. After that salad and the biscuits with the ranch.
Yeah. From a fast food joint, because I've really checked out on McDonald's. But man,
let's be serious. Does anybody ever really check out at McDonald's? I know you may not eat it every day.
No, let me tell you something. I checked out, and then we had baby girl, and she fell in love with
Happy Meals,
Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried. Like she was just a straight chicken. Yeah. Till this day, now she's in love with Cane's. She's always been chicken.
Man, she got worse on the taste.
She did. She did. I don't know
how you skip over Chick-fil-A in that whole process. Man. What's going on?
But dude, yeah, McDonald's. I left them a long time ago.
Man.
But man, they have some commercials that make that quarter pounder with cheese look real good.
See, and maybe that was a time period, because I agree with you. It was a time where quarter pounders was in style.
Facts.
And they had them. I don't even know if it was the commercials, but it was something about a quarter pounder in 2010, 2011,
Yeah.
2012. I used to get them
Yeah.
and be like, "This is a good meal. This is like,"
Yeah.
and I used to, I used to be so funny because I used to be like, "And make it fresh."
You
I'm not
always ask
waiting
for,
till the
especially for
burger
the
is fresh.
fries. Like no salt on the
I'm
fries.
saying
They
make
have
the
to make
quarter
them
pounder
fresh.
fresh because
Yeah.
I get upset. I'm like, man, because nothing is better than a fresh quarter pounder.
Yeah.
I go up there and be like, can you hook me up, man? But ever them 3
I've
years after
heard
that,
this. I've heard this from a lot of people out west. Carl's Jr. is trash, but they make the food
trash.
look fantastic on the
Yeah,
commercials.
them and Hardee's.
Hardee's is bad out there?
Hardee's and Carl's Jr. Are they cousins or something like that?
I didn't know
Or
that.
brothers or first removed cousins or something like
Lilo Galante said he just got a double quarter pounder that just slapped.
that? It be moments where that it really be on point. But I haven't had a quarter
Oh
pounder in a long
man.
time.
Man, it's really that's what it is right now, man. Now, it looks good, but it's trash, right? And I don't think Notre Dame now is in the same position, right?
Mm.
I don't think they look the same as they did look a year ago. And I think the buzz is out there in Arizona and the national landscape about the position and the possibilities. It's positive. It's really a positive look for Notre Dame. Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation, in conjunction with Irish Breakdown, all of our great content. Leave 5 stars, leave comments. We greatly appreciate it. It's because of you, LL Nation, that we do this each and every day. You keep the chat spicy. You keep us going. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. We spin it different. So you talked about Andy Ludwig. You talked about Joe Moorhead. You talked about Joe Brady. You talked about Byron Leftwich a little bit earlier. Are there any off the radar guys that you feel like, you know what, I might give them a shot or at least have a conversation with them?
Man, I really don't want to even stay too far off the radar in this situation we're in. I kind of want to bring a guy in that's accomplished, somebody that can be a fire starter for our offense, not a guy that we're experimenting with or trying to put on. We
Mm-hmm.
love to put a dude on. We love to get a dude a better job. We love to get a dude paid. We let a dude come in that's paid and have a good job already.
Yeah.
Come get us right. Come help our team out. So uh, I would love it to be somebody that I know and not have to look up. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah. And I see Bob O'Day. We said last week that we fully expected some NFL assistants to be part of the process. Like, we fully expect that. Like, why wouldn't you? And this is why the conversation that went on, and I understand the love affair with Andy Ludwig, Jason Candle, Joe Moorhead, but the NFL game has been infected by the college game. This is different because I saw someone mention previous coaches that made the jump that weren't successful. Someone brought up Nick Saban. Dude, all levels of football are pretty much the same now. It was the high school level that infected the college game. The college game has now infected the NFL. Hey, the college game is in the Super Bowl. Literally. You're going to watch a college playbook try to beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. That's what you're about to watch. And if it happens, by all means, there are going to be several NFL offensive coordinators or quarterback coaches that get calls. Why? Because it's a copycat league. It's a copycat league. Maybe back in the day when it was strictly pro sets, pro offense, pro style offenses that were coming, you might be skeptical of an NFL coach coming to call a college game. Of course, recruiting comes into play. But let me tell you something. If you can call the offense for Jalen Hurts in the NFL, you can call the offense at Notre Dame.
I'm just saying.
Now, whether or not you are a great play caller and you have great timing as a play caller, that's yet to be seen, right? Because anyone that might come from the staff with the Philadelphia Eagles, you have to ask yourself, what did they really do? Because it's Nick Sirianni's offense.
Yeah.
It's his offense, right? So if you're on that offensive staff, what specifically did you do? I mean, that sounds like a typical interview question, right? What did you
Yeah.
what were your specific tasks with the Philadelphia Eagles or with whatever team said candidate might come from?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. They talk a lot about Brian Johnson from the Eagles. He was in Florida too, and when Florida was with Dan Mullen and having some success, they had Kyle Trask out there, Felipe Franks. So I do think for Marcus Freeman, this decision is just going back to why it's important. It's almost like another first year because now you have your full, complete staff without the extra drama, and so you can lock in on building out the team and finding the right roster
Mm-hmm.
that can work out together on the chemistry level. I mean,
Yeah,
they're hell bent on having guys that are great practice players. So bringing a guy in on offense that keeps that same mentality of being a great practice player and helping develop these guys as well, the NFL assistants are going to be great for that. And the system and what Marcus Freeman is running as a program is going to be set up for them to foster a great relationship for an assistant NFL coach to come in and call offense and develop our guys.
I agree. I see Cool Kid as always. We thank Cool Kid for coming in. I think Cool Kid is an Alabama fan, if I'm not mistaken. And he said y'all don't have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown or that O line.
About the Eagles?
I guess he's saying that has nothing to do with calling plays, like in college. The point is, a college offense is in the pros. We didn't say you had to bring the same offense.
Same players.
Yeah, stay with us. Stay with us. Lucky Lefty podcast. People try to get slick, you know. That's why we say listening is a skill. I think we said the point was that college offense has the potential to win the Super Bowl. And if someone's on that staff, which you just pointed out, Left, has plenty of experience from Florida with Dan Mullen, just happens to get an interview, we don't think they would struggle calling plays.
Mm-mm.
I'm just saying, man. You know, people try to take our words and twist it. We want to make sure we unravel the bull because that's how rumors get started. They said this. Nah, it's not. That's not what we said.
Yeah, I'm really interested, man, to see how the fans respond to who we got coming in. Are they gonna give them a chance? Are we gonna compare him to Tommy? I think we just want to see us be consistent on the offensive side of the ball because we know defense is starting to come on as a consistent force too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Once again, you don't want to start this argument, dude, because first of all, let's see, I love this. People don't listen. You don't listen. You don't listen. And offense is as good as its personnel. Then why are MAC teams putting up 40 points? Why are teams that have less personnel like Utah putting up points? No, it's the offensive coordinator that can use what he has to produce that causes great offenses. It's more than one way to skin a cat. If you want to be caught in one way to be successful, then you go ahead and do that. The only way to have a productive offense is just to have a bunch of talent. All right, that's the way you see it. There's plenty of offenses in college football that don't have the talent of Alabama or Georgia that are able to put up points on a week-to-week basis. Why? Because they have very smart offensive coordinators that are resourceful enough to use what they have to get the similar results.
I mean, look at SEC. Auburn has a great amount of talent
Like
and
I
can't
said,
get coached for a lick.
come on,
All
man.
them gimmick offenses they was running when Gus Malzahn was there, it couldn't win for a consistent year after year. It could win when it was new and fresh.
Because look, dude, the conversation wasn't even about Notre Dame. The conversation was about generally the conversation that was being had in the chat all day about NFL coaches coming to the college ranks. And we were just pointing out in general that a college offense had the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. So therefore, a college coach or an NFL coach can definitely come to the college ranks. And you have people that want to make it. It had nothing to do with Notre Dame. It had absolutely nothing to do with Notre Dame. He tried to make it about Notre Dame, but unfortunately, they play USC, UCLA. Utah smacks USC. Going back 4 or 5 years when they had defense. Come on, man, stop. Just stop. Duke got a really smart coach, a really great young offensive coordinator, and all of a sudden they started putting up points. Stop.
You love Duke. You think Duke gonna beat us?
No, I just think it's a bad schedule. It's just I just don't like coming after an emotional game. I just don't like playing a game like that. I just don't. I don't. You know. So once again, cool kid. Conversation wasn't even about Notre Dame. It wasn't even about Notre Dame. Had everything to do with a conversation that you jumped into that's been going on for over an hour about whether or not NFL coaches can come to college and be successful in today's football. That's the conversation. Stick to the conversation. Stop trying to hijack it and just troll Notre Dame. Stop. You're wrong. You're wrong in your assumption. Acquiring a bunch of talent. Wait a minute. Is this not the second time that the Eagles have tried to acquire talent? You remember when they had the super team and they acquired all of that offensive talent with Chip Kelly? Remember that? How did that offensive system work with all of that talent? What happened, Left? What? Because Cool Kid thinks he's right. What happened?
Didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
They
So
put
your
up
whole premise.
They put up some cool points though.
So all that premise with offense and it's based upon the talent and our system is only as good as the talent was proven wrong and has been proven wrong on multiple occasions in football. Has been. Matter of fact, Joe Burrow and the same receivers were at LSU the year before they won the national championship with a different coordinator. What happened? See, that whole thing about it's all about the talent, stop that. If that's the case, we don't need any coaches. Just walk the teams out on the field and let everybody call their own plays and go.
Yeah.
Once again, had zero to do with Notre Dame. The conversation was about whether or not NFL coaches can adjust to college football in today's football. Stick to the topic as a non-Notre Dame fan and stop trying to troll. You played yourself.
You played yourself.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. We love you though, but you played yourself on that one. You played yourself. Did we miss anybody? You pretty much know who you want.
Yeah, but I want it to be uh, fitting for what we want to do with the talent that we have. I don't want it to be somebody that is a good hire when he spoke about, but can't work with the team we got.
Yeah.
So um, Marcus Freeman, I trust his judgment, but I would hope that he feels it more than just having one guy come in and maybe bring maybe one or two in.
As we move forward, Left, how would you like to see, you know what, regardless of the OC, how would you like to see this offense evolve? Right? Do you want to see them continue what we expect Sam Hartman to do within this offense? Or do you want to look at Kenny Minchie, Tyler Buckner, CJ Carr and say, look, this is a one off. This is what we're going to be moving forward when it comes to the OC that you might end up hiring?
Well, I think it's interesting because I think Sam Hartman was more of a Tommy Reese call in terms of who it is. Now, if we had Jeff Sims, I think it wouldn't be that big of a problem because I think him and Tyler are more similar
It will be a transition smooth.
to where Jeff Sims is learning just like Tyler, and the
Yeah,
best man win
yeah, yeah.
because we got the guy for that. Sam Hartman was very specific, and that's why I said if Tommy's gone, then I'd rather go with Tyler.
So
Just because
basically,
of the chain and natural command of the order of your quarterback room. You're throwing a monkey wrench at it with Sam, with Tommy not being there, because we know that Tommy being there, Sam was most likely going to be the starter because that's Tommy's type of guy. A new offensive
mhm.
coordinator is going to have a room full of different guys that you really don't have any allegiance to, honestly. So, um, for what the team needs, I think it's more um, succinct to run well with Tyler Buckner because he's the only thing left there from last year in that case.
That's interesting that you say that because for me, I think the future is bright, not just in 2023, but beyond. I'm cool. I don't want to say cool because I won a national championship.
That's right.
So I don't want to lie.
We're not
I would
losing.
be,
Yeah, we're not losing that
yeah.
steam.
I was about to say something like I'm cool with
Yeah,
going
he's
10 and
about to he's
10.
about to settle in like us
Yeah,
Notre Dame
I
fans. I'm
was.
cool
I
with
was.
10 wins.
Right, right.
No, no, no. We're not talking like that.
You're right. You're right. I definitely want to win. I want to ask as we get ready to get out of here, what's the impact on Sam Hartman? Because I think no one's really you would know. Like Sam Hartman, he's a Tommy Reese guy, pro
Man,
style.
he's
He
looking
was
around
coming
like,
to
what
prove.
in the heck is going on? Where am I at? What happened? I should have been in the league.
Mm,
XYZ. So I think he is trying to be a good sport about it, trying to make the best out of the situation, being positive. But you in a tough spot now, because now what? Because now what? You in a position to where um you don't know who has your back
mm.
necessarily. Like who's gonna be the guy in the room saying, "Yeah, Sam should be the guy." Is it gonna be Marcus Freeman? Maybe. But your main guy that was going to be on your side would be Tommy saying, "Boom, we brought him in. Boom, he's running what we like. This is the improvement. X, Y, Z." I mean, the man was wearing 10, just like Drew Pine. So he knew what the role he was coming into, or what he thought he was coming into. But I think it takes away some of the pizzazz and effect of him being a good fit as a transfer because now The offensive coordinator has to be specific to Sam as
Mm.
opposed to the other way around. And I think Sam's not a talented enough quarterback to be versatile in every system. That's why I didn't like the guy from Coastal Carolina, because he needs a specific guy, to run what he's good at. With Sam, I think he needs a consistent, a specific guy for him. But also, I think because it's Notre Dame, he's going to be protected in a lot of ways. But when it comes to them 2 games that we need for all the marbles, I don't know if I feel better going all in with him and Tommy than him and another guy.
That's fair. That's fair. I just think if I'm Marcus Freeman now and I'm talking to these candidates, I'm saying, okay, I have Sam Hartman. He is who he is. I know the type of passer he is, so I just need a guy that can come in and kind of just massage him through and get this offense through and have a successful season in 23 and give us a shot to win a championship. But I really need somebody that's going to be able to develop my future because it's bigger than just Sam Hartman in 2023. Like Tyler Buckner, Kenny Minchie, and C.J. Carr.
I'm
That's
picking
your
somebody for
trio.
the roster. I'm not picking somebody for the year.
Ooh, hey,
If I'm
break
Marcus
that down.
Freeman.
You picking somebody for the roster and not someone for the year.
Yeah, if I'm that's Marcus Freeman, I'm picking somebody that's going to develop Kenny Minchie. Really, that's the who's going to develop Kenny Minchie? Because on the way of doing that, you're going to have Tyler in there with some years left. That if I'm going to be here past 5 years, I need to worry about the development of Kenny and Carr coming in. So who is fitting to that style? And I think that the guy that is going to be able to keep not only the recruits, but be able to develop the guys that we have in that room specifically to what Marcus Freeman and the offense and the team are looking forward to from an offensive coordinator. It's a very unique position because, like you said, the staff around you remains.
Mhm.
You're dolo in this mission, kind of conforming to what we got going on, but bringing something that we don't have. And nowadays, everybody wants to do everything themselves. So it makes it a little harder to get a team fit for a coordinator position, which is different than getting a position coach under a coordinator. You're getting a coordinator to fit with position coaches. So um, the challenges never cease to end, but these are good challenges that Marcus Freeman handling well
Yeah.
can make the success of the team go even crazier than it's going to be.
Let's get to these super chats on the way out left. Jason Hewlett, thank you for tapping in as always. Can we get Byron Leftwich and Luck together? Luck already said if Byron Leftwich comes, he'll be in South Bend a whole lot more.
I'm there.
I got Corey Roof, how we discussed Josh Gaddis. He was mentioned. I'm sure, look, like I said, if you're an
Like you
OC,
said, you don't want somebody coming off a bad season. And he didn't even make it through the whole season.
no, he made it through the whole season. He just didn't make it through
The whole
to,
season.
to spring football.
Oh,
Adam Shipley, thank you. Do you think them wanting to keep the staff together eliminates any current candidates, like Moorhead being responsible for a whole staff at Akron? I mean, for anyone, him, Jason Candle, that are old to have people connected to them, that's you know, that's someone's livelihood in your hands. So I'm sure it'll be tough. It definitely would be tough, in my opinion. That's tough, man, because you have to do what's best for you in your career, and then you have to kind of put that next to like how your decision is going to impact the others around you, and that's very difficult. Thank you for that, Adam. That's a great question. Mike, thank you for the super chat. Please, no more Buckner. Dude would break his leg if he fell into a pool of toilet paper.
well, it depends if he's diving off the diving board and hits the bottom because of speed, gravity, and stuff.
Well, here we go. It has that Notre Dame education. You just had to take
But
it deeper, didn't you?
I think that Tyler got to have a coach that cares about his health. I don't think Tommy
Very
cared
much
about.
so. Tommy did not give a darn about his
He
health
didn't care about that
to
man health.
start the
And it
season
showed.
last year at
No,
all.
no.
At all.
Because you didn't even warm him up. You went straight to him being the lead dominant ball carrier. So if he gets somebody that care about his health, I think we can see a better Tyler Buckner in the future.
I bet you, man, they have to have somebody behind Tyler when he walks into workouts like stretch, my dude. Stretch. You just can't pick up weights.
Yeah.
No,
Because
stretch.
you're making you too stiff, man. You out there getting bent up out of shape now. Your ankle going two different directions and shit. Your hamstring falling off. And you a quarterback, man. Like you the quarterback.
Jason Hewlett, we appreciate you. Can you see the OC playing both quarterbacks?
If we want to lose, why would you bring a quarterback? An OC in here to do that. You might as well elevate somebody from the team already.
Yeah.
Because you ain't bringing nothing fresh. We've been doing two quarterbacks for a long time.
Yeah. Truman DeMille, thank you, my brother, as always, for tapping in. Hey, Malik, tell us what bringing Byron Leftwich to Notre Dame as OC would mean for us.
Man, be a lot of coffee and no cream. I tell you. I would really hope it worked out. I would just really hope that it would turn out to be really good for us. I think you will find something that hasn't been seen. I don't think ever at Notre Dame. and don't let Kenny Minchie start too, because then it'd just be it'd be too crazy.
Start looking like the Chicago Bears over here, boy.
Yeah.
What? Notre Dame start looking like the Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
still
know. Man.
I'm still shocked right now at the Chicago Bears
Notre Dame will
flow
be
chart.
celebrating Black History Month to the fullest extent. We got a trifecta like that. You got Kenny, the OC, and the head coach. We doing a lot, but
I
I
have to
think
talk. Wait a
that
minute. So, true story. I have to tell this story because this fits right in. So, I get a text from baby girl right on Saturday. Now, I knew she was scheduled to sing the national anthem for the USC Washington game on Saturday night. So, I get a text Saturday morning around 11, and I was busy doing something, so I didn't see the first text. So, by the time I saw my phone, she had texted back and said, "Never mind." I said, okay. Now I know when she says never mind, she needed some advice. So I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still calling. So I call.
I'm
She
still
pick,
calling. That's the
I'm still
parent in
calling. I call, she picks up the phone, she's heated. I can tell she's heated. I'm like, baby, what's wrong? She's like, man,
you.
I feel like I need to sing, lift every voice and sing to start the game. And I'm like, okay, okay, like, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And she's like, but they won't let me. And I'm like, you spoke to the administration? Like, yeah, I spoke to the people that handle the basketball games, and they said there's not enough time for it. So they're gonna try and see if I can do it at halftime. And so we're talking as we're talking, the email comes through, and they're like, yeah,
We
it's not
don't have
enough time at halftime.
right.
And
Some excuse.
she's like, see, they playing. And I'm like, okay, they said no. And so it was just silence. And all of a sudden she says, I'm just going to sing it. I said, artist. I said, I said, baby girl.
Okay.
I said, if you do what you're thinking about doing, you understand that you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your
Yeah,
act.
like it's definitely gonna be something
Like
behind it.
you are still a
And,
student. Like you are still a student. Like I need you to relax. Right now, your Shirley Chisholm is coming through, and I need you to be baby girl right now. Like, I need you to graduate. You are literally a year away from
He's
graduation.
like, listen, we are almost
Like, we are almost done.
as
Like,
an alumni.
yeah.
Of course, go back, stand on the table, go crazy. But if you, why you want to? You right there.
So I just told her, I said, look, if that's how you feel and that's the stance you want to take, then just let them know that you can't do it. Like, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to sing. These are my principles. This is my
Yeah, just let them.
right,
Surprising people probably wouldn't be the best plan of action.
bro. So I'm watching on TV. The game was on TV, but of course they never show the national anthem. They
Yeah, they
always
never did.
go
They always
live
skip
after
it.
the national anthem. So I'm so nervous because I'm waiting for a phone call or text to come because she usually calls right after she gets done. And she's done it several times over the last 2.5 years. So they call her songbird on campus. Like they do. She loves doing it. So long story short, bro, the phone rings and I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just went ahead and did it. And I'm like, you went ahead and did what? She was like, I sang the national anthem. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I was like, next time, why don't you tell them a week in advance
Yeah. Like, let's
instead
plan
of the
ahead.
morning of,
Because
and you might have a chance.
you
Like
might have a chance.
you
There
might
you
have a
go.
chance.
Yeah,
I
don't
said,
say
but
you like to say you can't do it.
I said, but you want some revolutionary type stuff,
Yeah, you crashing
and I
out.
pay way too much tuition for them to send you home because of the national anthem.
Because
That's
revolution doesn't have a payback to it. Yeah,
right, right,
you going all in. That's my money too. You going
man, dude. When
but
I
we
tell you
right there though. We cross that line, we jump, we do anything,
bro, when I tell you she had folks back here nervous for about an hour, right?
You're looking at 3 years go down the drain like God.
Because
You got a
look,
boat.
I love my daughter, but she's stubborn. She's stubborn, and I could tell when we were giving her advice, she wasn't trying to hear us. You know what it is because you've
You
been on
saying
the
all
other
the
side of it
wrong
as a child.
things.
She's like, man, I hear y'all, but that's not what I'm looking for. I need
Like she's
somebody to
saying
put the
up, you
cards in my
saying
back.
down. She's saying red, you saying blue. She like, that's not what I
Right.
want.
She's like, man, nah, you know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty
We did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
and fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, pettiest story of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Put LeBron James on. LeBron James just needs to live on the petty train. Look, man, stop lying. It's okay. I'm disappointed, but now I'm back on task. What task is that? Going home early? Again?
No, we'll be playing tournament.
Like, look, congratulations to
Brown
you.
be playing tournament. Come on.
Congratulations to you. The resellers, the ticket resellers, and the Lakers are about to make a mint this week off of the accomplishment that you're about to, attain. But look, Mac_10, thank you for the super chat. But my brother, stop whining, man. Stop whining. Stop whining. He's just a whiner, dude. I can't do him. I can't. I can't take him anymore, dude. I can't take him anymore. Like, the heck you
Whining
disappointed about? What are you disappointed about?
that they traded Kyrie to the Mavs because they didn't like Kyrie, not because of anything else. They didn't want to do Kyrie a favor. They traded him somewhere he didn't want to go because they was hating because they knew that LeBron, AD, and Kyrie would be next level. That's obvious. They would have took Russ.
Okay, man.
Got Russ off our hands. He would have reunited with KD.
Okay.
Great storyline. And Joe Tsai just
Yeah.
tripping.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lilo Galante, thank you, man. We'll throw Jay Prince Jr. on the petty train. He absolutely deserves to be on the petty train. Just shut up. Like when you connect to something tragic, just shut up and go to the corner, man. Just let it fade away. And on top of that, I hate what we saw or what's come out. We saw Quavo,
And
honor
Offset.
Takeoff and Offset get upset. Offset and Takeoff got upset about it, and they had a screaming match in the background because he wasn't part of it. Look, I'm glad from the audio that we heard Cardi B tell both of them that they were wrong. Like, dude, both of y'all are wrong. Like, what are we talking about right now? Move on. And then, last but not least, Logan Paul. I meant to drop this last week when I first saw it. I'm like,
About
man,
the
there's,
box, about the boxing thing.
bro,
Because that don't
dude.
make no. What the heck?
Look, man, I'm not the biggest Bomani Jones fan.
I'm not either though.
I'm not the biggest Bomani Jones fan, but Logan Paul, man, unique, man. See, this is what I'm talking about, man.
The whole I don't know who you are thing, but they edited that last part because that was a little off. Like, how they get from that to that?
No, the promo, I actually saw the full clip.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the full clip, and yeah, he was a butthole. He was a butthole.
Okay.
It was almost like that's your mindset. Like, dude, he's asking you a question.
Yeah, just like what happens? Like, what do you do?
Like, and I'm tough on the media. Like, if I felt like it was a loaded question or like a terrible question,
Especially from
I
Bomani,
would say
we
it.
wouldn't hold back if we was criticizing
Absolutely.
Bomani.
But come on, man. Look, what are we talking about right now? Like, either say, man, I'm not going to lose, so that's something we won't worry about. Dude, I don't know who the F you are. What are you? Come on, man. He's a clown. He's a clown, bro. I had to put him on the petty train. And I meant to do it like Friday, but I totally forgot. So, thanks, guys, for joining in today. Pray for Left out there in the desert, man, making connections, doing work. Pray for prosperity and success, yo. My boy said he reached out to you.
Yeah, I talked to him. He didn't hit me back from the 305, right? Area code.
Yeah,
He didn't hit me back.
yeah.
He said he was in Tempe.
He said he was gonna hit you back. He was at the
The Super Bowl kickoff.
yeah, he was at the kickoff last night. I saw him standing next to Spice Adams.
Oh
A
man,
couple of
funny
pictures.
dude right there, man.
Man,
That's
man, you have to meet him in person.
He's
He's
funny.
worse in person. Oh, he's worse in person, bro. He's worse in person. Man. I got a
I
story
would
to
have
tell
so
you.
much fun, though. I think that'd be so fun.
Dude, I have a story to tell you about that fool. That dude sat with us and broke down the dynamic of every type of woman in an NFL setting. It was like he took us to school. It's the funniest thing ever. I'll tell you off air because I can't tell you, dude.
Oh my god.
We wouldn't have a podcast. People will unfollow us if I told you all the stuff he said. For Left, I'm Shaun Davis.
Nice.
We
He
appreciate
on
you
the pod.
guys.
Get Spice on the pod, man.
We got to get him on the pod for sure. We'll see you for another episode of Lucky Lefty Podcast tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday, but most of all, make sure you spin it different.